Hello everybody out there. I have enlisted my mom's help as my videographer for the day because I'm going to show you my setup for how I record Zoom interviews. So I've been doing a number of these for my YouTube channel and for some other projects for my documentary production class, and I figured all you journalists, videographers, YouTubers out there who need to be filming interviews right now might want to know how to do it. So let's get started. So whether you're using Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, whatever platform, you're just going to get your interviewee on the screen. And I like to use kind of a two-camera setup. If you do have access to an external DSLR, great. Any other camera, fantastic. iPhone, iPad, whatever you want to use. Have one facing the screen. An alternative to this, I know Zoom has a screen recording feature. I like to use an external camera because I know for sure it's going to capture. I've had issues where I end the Zoom call and I was at a cloud space or something and the recording gets deleted after an hour-long interview. That's very sad. So maybe even try doing both so that you have a backup plan. So you get your camera situated, make sure they're parallel so you're not getting some weird angles. Instruct your interviewee on how to sit. Make sure that they've framed themselves well on their camera, following the rule of thirds, and making sure that they're not backlit. Those are going to be the main two things to avoid. And then what I do is I get my good old trusty iPhone over here, and I just use a stack of books. Gotta do what you gotta do. And I face it towards myself, again, following the rule of thirds. I'm well lit. And you click record on both, begin your interview. Other things to be conscious of, make sure that you have your volume at full blast from the computer, or like just a little under full blast. And then make sure if you have an external mic, just make sure that it's picking up audio well. You don't want to end up at the end of your interview and realize it's super quiet and you can barely hear what they're saying. Okay, now we'll move on to editing. Alright, so now we're here and we are going to edit these together. For the sake of this tutorial, I am going to use some footage that I just recently recorded of an interview with my friend Eugenia in Italy. So, let's see. Alright, so here is what my interview with Eugenia looked like. There she is, lovely lady. All right, so you'll notice I had her, she's well lit, she is sitting in front of the camera. The computer screen is perfectly parallel to the camera lens, so we're not getting any weird distortion. And you can see me up in the corner there. So one option is this. This is just the one camera option. You just record the screen.
And we actually got sick. It wasn't coronavirus, but long story short, we flew.
I also like to zoom in a little bit because it's a lot easier to just record it and then zoom in a little bit than to try and finagle it until it's perfect. Let's do like 120 and see how that looks. Perfect. Get her centered again. Cool. So I think that is a beautiful shot.
And we actually got sick. It wasn't coronavirus, but long story short, we flew.
That is how I started doing the interviews at first. Something that I realized, though, is that there's not much visual variety here, and the average viewer is used to A-roll and B-roll and constant change. So I've been working with my friend Nico, who I've been producing these videos with, to try and figure out how we can increase the visual variety. So now I'm going to show you my two camera option, which is the current standard I'm using for my videos, as it gives you some of that ability to switch around and keep your viewers interested. So the first thing she says is, "How are you doing?" So then I'm going to go and I'm going to pull out that recording. Here, so here's the recording that I took on my phone. So it's all the same interview, just this file is the phone footage of me, and this file is the camera footage of Eugenia. So we're going to line them up, and then we know what we just heard right here was the first thing she says. So I'll toggle this to turn off the video on this line and then click this to mute this. So it's almost as if that's not there. And I'm going to find that line again. It's right where she pops up. Here we go. Okay, and we'll zoom in big time. So she says,
How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you? Okay, so she says, how are you doing? And we know that that is this peak right here. So then I will do the opposite and make it so that these are muted and invisible. And I find that same line. Looks like it's going to be further down. So I just kind of play around with it until I get them lined up. Oh, this is it. You can tell by the audio peaks right there.
Yes, I can. Hi. How are you doing?
How are you doing? Okay, so that's the line that we wanted. And now that we have them lined up, let's just make sure that they're lined up exactly. Let's see. Back a little bit. Just keep working with it until... Okay, that's probably going to be close enough. If we come out, I'm sure if we unmute these tracks and toggle this on, we will now...
How are you doing? I'm good, how are you?
There we go. So, we have it perfectly lined up, and you know that they're perfectly lined up because you play them overlaid and it just sounds like one audio track. So then what I will do is I will unlink the audio from the video on this clip from the phone recording and delete the second audio track because we don't need it. My camera has a Rode mic attached, so that's going to be the higher quality option. And then now you'll notice that we have the audio figured out, but you can only see one of the interviews. So the fix to this is clicking our top layer of video, go to the editing panel, not color, there we go, editing, click effect controls, and scale down this footage and move it over. Move it over. And since I wasn't close enough to the right, what I actually did was pulled an effect from the effects panel. They have a crop over here. Crop. Drop that on the layer that you want to crop. Then once you return to your editing panel, you'll scroll down and see that you now have this crop option, and it is the right side that is too wide, so I'll just bring that in. Okay, great.
Can you hear me?
Now...
Yes, I can. Hi. How are you doing? I'm good, how are you?
Now we can see both of us, but Eugenia is not centered. We want to see her lovely face. Perfect. And then we want to follow the rule of thirds. So I would say the third line is right here where her nose currently is. So let's first scooch her to the side. And then it's really just a bunch of trial and error. Just play around with these controls until you get the look that you're going for. I can be very picky, so I'll just leave it there for now. And then this is another option. You have a 2-camera visual where you get to see the person asking the question, the person answering the question, and then the interviewer's reaction. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's been so long. I can't believe how long it's been.
But another thing that I noticed when I did this for the first time is that I wanted the focus to be more on what Eugenia was saying, not on my reactions. And I am taking up equal space as her in this visual, which implies equal importance to a viewer. So what I did is, for my final form, which I am now using as the baseline for all my projects moving forward, is I selected my frame, I zoomed it down. So we're still about the same size, and we still have the same eye line right here at the top third, actually. However, visually you can tell that she is more important than me, which is what we want. So, and you can even play around with it, get fancy, so that when it comes time for the interviewer to ask the question, they take up 2/3 of the screen and it pops back and forth. I know, you were here in when I was in middle school.
7 years ago. 6?
So a lot of possibilities here. That is how I film and edit Zoom interviews. I hope this was useful. If there's anything else you want to know or could be better explained, feel free to mention it in the comments. Thanks.